Your beer does not have to be bland. These pellets are packed full of flavor, and some people don't utilize them correctly. One thing you can do is something called dry hopping. You add in hop pellets while it's maturing. It's gonna give your beer more flavor and more aroma. I think a great beer to start with is something like an amber ale, because you're using a malted barley that's typically caramelized. So you're gonna get a lot of sweet flavors coming out the barley itself. And this is gonna complement the hops that you're using. Now, your hop choice does matter a little bit. You want something that's full of flavor and something that's really, really aromatic. The malted barley that I'll be using is light crystal, dark crystal, and pale malt barley. And to dry hop, the only equipment you need is something super simple as a tea strainer. Thank you, Darren, for giving me this, by the way. I greatly appreciate that. Let's start by getting our mash to 67 degrees Celsius or 152 degrees Fahrenheit. Now for a 10-litre batch, I'm using 2 kilos of pale malt barley, 800 grams of light crystal malt barley, and 200 grams of dark crystal malt barley. So this is gonna mash for about an hour. I'm gonna sparge it with about 2 litres of water and get it up to 12 litres before boil. I'm gonna do something that I'm not too confident at doing, which is sparging. So I've got my second pot set up here. I'm still gonna use the original as my kettle. My thinking is I lift up the bag, I put the rack down, I let it drain. I move the malted barley into my second pot. And once it's in my second pot, I can add 2 litres of boiling water. I can stir out the rest of the sugars, remove the malted barley, pour the rest of the work back into the kettle and start the boil. I just undershot it. I was trying to get it to 12 litres, but hopefully after it's done boiling, it'll bring it right down to about 10 litres, and that'll be exactly what I want to ferment it at. 20 grams of East Kent Goldings into my hop sock. And as soon as you hit your boil, chuck it in for an hour.
Sure, 1 hour, and we're starting now.
I definitely need to learn a better way of cooling down my wort, because I really don't like to pour it into the sink. Now that I've gotten all the wort into the fermentation vessel, ideally I'm waiting for it to hit 24 degrees before I can add in my yeast. What we'll do, we'll check the gravity with my refractometer. And as we can see, the OG is going to be 1.053. So hopefully when we get to the final gravity, it's going to be about 5% in alcohol, which would probably be one of the better beers I've made. I've done really well for once. I'm pretty proud of myself, to be honest. Ideally, I'm waiting for it to hit 24 degrees before I can add in my yeast. So I've just got a liquid yeast. I'm going to add in 50 mils of that. For about the third time this video, I forgot to turn my microphone on. So I'm quickly going to recap what I said here. Oh no, it's spraying everywhere. Oh what? Oh great. I'll just tip it in. It'll be fine. I didn't use 50 mils. What actually happened was I used 200 mils. I don't actually know what happens when you overpitch with your yeast. So hopefully it doesn't ruin my amber ale and it still ferments fine. So I actually learned something really cool about brewing. My pantry now smells like rotten eggs, because if you're using a lager style yeast, it can actually ferment and produce hydrogen sulfide. If it was smelling like gunpowder or a freshly lit match, it'd be producing sulfur dioxide, but no, I got the worst. Hopefully this smell dissipates and I haven't ruined my beer, because when I had my little mishap, I'm quite worried that a bug did get into the brew itself. Taste and smell pretty much come hand in hand. So when you're adding in your hops during maturation, what it's going to do is leak these oils into your beer. And now you're going to smell this, and when you smell this, you're going to taste it. And it's just going to increase the complexity of your beer and give it a lot more flavor. You don't need much. I've got 10 litres of beer here, and I'm just going to add in 15 grams of East Kent Goldings. Make sure you specifically choose an aromatic hop. You have to do this pretty quick. You don't want to let in too much oxygen, because that can pretty much damage your beer. Think anymore? That's pretty good. Well, that sunk straight to the bottom. And it smells like beer. It doesn't smell like farts. I hate the taste of those sugar drops, and I can taste it in every single beer that I've made. So I'm moving the beer from this vessel into this secondary vessel here. And once I've done that, I'm gonna add in 44 grams of brown sugar. Put in the brown sugar, mix it all together, and then I'll bottle it, and hopefully it does that secondary fermentation. If I'm doing this wrong, please let me know, because This is a lot of guesswork I'm doing at the moment. I mean, if I mess it up, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I really like this thing, but I don't have much else to work with. Oh God, I hope this turns out okay. Look, this has got shit loads of yeast sediment in there. This is gonna be a little bit rank, but at least I'll be able to taste if there's any off flavors. This is good. I haven't messed up yet. There's your Goldings in there, just a little bit there. I thought that'd be rancid. Oh no, it is rancid. I take it back. At least I know there's not much flavor left in the hop pellets and it's gone into the beer itself. It does taste a little bit rank though. Gotta know, you gotta test it, you gotta check these things. Probably, I don't know, don't listen to me. We've got some that's not loaded with the yeast sediment. Look, if this doesn't carbonate, at least I've got a good English ale that's flat. Whew, one down, several to go. 1.030 is what it says. I know I've been using a refractometer wrong, but leave me alone, stop picking on me. everyone corrected me in my last video. I didn't know. The dude at the home brew shop was just like, you'll look really cool with one of these. He had me at, you look cool. It's not my fault. Okay, so I do have some questions about this beer. One, I have been smelling the fermentation vessel a lot. Can I give myself CO2 poisoning? That's probably an important one because I don't want to accidentally knock myself out. Two, what do you do with your spent yeast? I've just been pouring mine on the garden. Is it good for fertilizer? Please tell me. Three, surely there is a way to use the refractometer. Surely there is a way to use the refractometer in a way that I can get my final gravity out of it. Also, I realized that I was not actually reading a gravity, I was reading whatever Brix and SG is. So I've got to do some learning real quick. But if I am going by the SG, it's 1.030. Remember that, Corey. Future me. Editor Corey. I've banged in my details on a refractometer calculator and it says it should work out to be 4.5%. It doesn't need to be dead on, I just want to know, you know, like a rough amount, and that'll do me. That'll do me, I think. Yes! Carbonation worked. Going by the lack of head on that, I should probably let this age a little bit longer. So the dry hopping, oh no, the dry hopping has worked, It smells like juicy fruit, like the gum. I really hope this tastes good, I'm so keen. This is good. It is good, yes! I was so worried about all the yeast that I put in there that I thought it would destroy the flavor, but it's actually like, it tastes good. It tastes good, so that's a good thing. Definitely needs to age a little bit longer, which is fine. I'm in no rush. Altogether, this is pretty good, and going with adding in the brown sugar, it actually worked out, which I'm happy about. One of my experiments at least succeeded a little bit. I am super happy with how my beer turned out. The dry hopping went off without a hitch. Look, I may have added in a little bit. Look, I made a few mistakes. So pretty much what I learned from this brew is one, I can use the refractometer to get the final gravity. It's a little bit off, but whatever. Dry hopping 100% adds lots of flavor to the beer. If you over pitch your yeast, it's actually not gonna completely ruin it. It definitely probably took away some of the flavor, but that's something I can live with. But we've made it all the way to the end. We've made an excellent beer. YouTube thinks you're gonna love this video right here. So you should click it, keep watching along, and I hope to see you again very soon. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Cheers.